Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Erica McElroy from Green Heiress Retreats, and we are going to have our podcast today for October. And we've been doing these monthly podcasts for Green Heiress Retreats called Original Bliss. We started back in April, and it is so exciting today because we have really special guests that I would like to welcome. So today we have Addie and Azriel. So I'd like to welcome them. If you all can tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start with Addie. Addie, you were one of the first people when I first started Green Heiress to be part of what we were doing when I opened up the Holistic Health Center, because I knew you as a yoga teacher back then.
That's
You did some really fun yoga things. And I was like, hey, do you want to come over and do like a little just pop up? And I think you were with my daughter, and it was just so cute and fun. And then later you did an acoustic yoga class that was really popular. So can you tell us a little bit about like your start with Green Heiress and your yoga practice and a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Erica, you welcomed me in with open arms. And I think, Green Heiress to me is just a great holistic center where you can go, you can be yourself, you can move, you can speak, you can do whatever you want to sort of find your path to healing. So that's kind of what really drew me to wanting to do yoga there and just kind of help out where I can or I could. Um, and sort of my philosophy is I love different modalities on how to heal and to grow and to sort of be your best self. And I felt like Green Heiress is really kind of a culmination of spirituality, physical movements, music, all of that. And so it was really kind of a nice little fit. So I'm so glad that we met. But a little bit about me, I got into yoga in high school, actually. I used to do it at home on VHS tapes, which is kind of funny to believe I'm, aging myself right now. But it's always been sort of a form of almost like meditation for me. I feel my best when I'm moving and sort of moving my body. And so yoga kind of carried throughout high school and then college. And then I ended up getting my yoga teacher training so that I could teach locally in Pittsburgh. And I did that for a few years before having my daughter, Lucy. But it's still a very near and dear practice to my heart. And I just love sharing it whenever I can.
Well, thank you for that.
Sure.
I really appreciate you sharing that about a little bit about your journey, and we'll get more into that in a little bit as we progress in our podcast. But first, I want to hear a little bit from Azriel. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing? Because I had the opportunity to meet you a couple years ago in person, and as you see today, we're all on Zoom, which we can do today. That's the kind of the gift of COVID, I guess, is people are doing more and more of these kind of things on Zoom and podcasts and video podcasts. It's just a very interesting way because Azriel, you're not even in Pittsburgh right now. Where are you right now?
No, I actually am in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking time anyway. But I just want to hear a little bit about from you, Azriel, like what you were interested in when you first came here in some holistic health modalities, and you had talked to us a great deal about them. And then we also started to talk about you guys doing a podcast together. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and some of the things that
Yeah,
you do in the holistic health world, and then we'll talk more specifically about your podcasts.
certainly. So I am a creative coach, essentially, is what I call myself. It's really being a guide, trying to show people where to begin of life's questions, or perhaps a a challenge in business or a personal challenge of some sort. I'm a creative, I'm an artist, and I serve that community, speaking that language. And so holistic health is very interesting to me because I feel like I'm really leading people to a starting point. I'm pointing them in a direction for them to begin that next journey for themselves, like pointing them to you guys. Hey, go and experience Green Heiress, for example. Go have a retreat, or go do these kinds of practices that might assist you in your processes. Coaching is just so wonderful to me. It lights me up. It is my purpose, essentially, to help people, to be an encourager, to just to be a place to be safe, to listen, to hear and to see people for what they're going through, and to relate to them.
That's fabulous. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing. There's so many different kinds of like coaches now. Like people really are
Mhm.
looking to help them get through life with a coach. I mean, typically when I was growing up, you thought of a coach as a sporting person who was helping you with tennis or some kind of football coach. But now we have a coach for a lot of things. We have life coaches, we have executive life coaches, we have
Mhm.
even here Qigong coaches. And you're saying you're a creative coach. I
Mhm.
love that. I haven't actually heard of that before. So is this like something unique just to you and something that your niche you do?
Well, when I first started doing this and I said I wanted to be a coach, and everyone says you have to niche down, right? Right? That's like everyone's kind of marketing thing. And I was like, well, who am I? And you kind of serve the community you once were involved with is the easiest way to do that sometimes. And I come from a professional graphic design background, but I just call myself a creative. I'm an artist, is just generally how I view myself. And so I realized that it's one of my superpowers is that I could speak their language. And I think a lot of times that people who fashion themselves artists or creatives have a certain way of speaking and viewing and moving through the world that's unique to them. And I feel like I can relate to that way and help them view things or reframe an idea or reframe a circumstance so they can see it in a different light.
Now, do you get into the business part of it as well, or is it more like how to help them tap into their creativity, or a little bit of both?
I think it's every client is different and unique of what they might need. But yes, do everything from literally helping them price out products, how to set up a booth at a market, for example, how to get into galleries, to what is the mindset? How do I continue on this journey when I'm not making money, for example? What is this for me? So talking about purpose. So it runs the gamut. And I think that's the beauty of coaching. And that's why I like it so much, because you hit on everything in life, because it's not just business. You can't just do business. Life is all wrapped into that. Personal life is wrapped into that as well. It's all one thing.
So are you mostly dealing then with like artists, or are you also with theater? Like, and it's all art. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Are you doing like acting? Are you doing writing? Or is it just specifically people who are creating what you would call like an art for sale, like at a festival or gallery?
Yeah. Well, currently there's a lot of visual artists. That's just because that's the community I tapped into locally in Pittsburgh. I worked with the Creative Business Accelerator here in Pittsburgh. It's a nonprofit, and I facilitated programs called, it's a creative entrepreneurship program. It was called First Leap, and I did that for a few years. And because of that, they are all people essentially making tangible products and art. So yes, that is my general, you know, client at this time. I'm helping one person at this as well. That's an opera singer. So it runs the gamut.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
An opera singer, that's
Wow.
fabulous. So you really niched out, it sounds like,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
but you are still yet open to expanding just a little bit more when it comes to artists. We're doing a similar thing here at Green Heiress. We are, we started off as just not just, but a holistic health center where we had all kinds of holistic modalities like yoga, massage, Reiki. But now we have a second studio, so we've actually branched out and we have, I don't know if you all know this, but we have art classes, dance classes. We're
Cool.
having an improv night on Saturday. So we're also kind of dabbling a little bit in opening our niche to have artists come in here and do things. We would love to even have like an art gallery show or something in here as
Mm.
well. But I do really see the correlation between wellness and art. I mean, art can be a therapy as well, and a way to express. And the fact that you're a coach, you probably see that and know that art is very therapeutic. Um,
Yeah.
Modality in itself. So we
Yeah.
welcome you and your artists if you'd like to ever come here to Green Heiress. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing all of that. And Addie, let's go back to you for a minute and tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Yeah, so my main position right now is real estate. So I'm still helping people buy and sell their homes, and just kind of create a new chapter in their lives. I've got two little girls now, so I think the last time we wrapped up our podcast, life was a little different. But I have a little girl Scout, she's 6 months, and my daughter Lucy is 6. So just being a mom to them and, just continuing our journey on holistic health and just continuing to learn as much as I possibly can and to kind of apply those practices to everyday life.
Wonderful. It would be really fun. You're in the Aspinwall community, Addie,
Mhm.
correct? And it would be really fun to have more families with children to come over to here to Green Heiress to do some fun, holistic kind of modalities as families. And we could even do family yoga, would be so fun. I am
I would
so
love it.
excited for you for your new baby. I also have a grandbaby who is 8 months today. And I know that Patrick has met Scout. They had a little play
Yeah.
date once.
Little date, their
Right.
first date.
And Patrick is I was on the Instagram with him today. He's moving his body in ways that looks like yoga poses. He literally does happy
Amazing.
baby. He literally looks like he's doing like the airplane thing, and I'm just like, wow, these kids can like do yoga. They could teach us yoga.
I
Is Scout
know.
doing some of that as well?
She is. She's kind of rolling all over the place, like no rhyme or reason. She's really in tune with movement and just taking it all in. And it's really amazing to see. So it's
That's
fun.
amazing. I think our children are our greatest teachers. So maybe we can have a child family yoga class here. We used to do that before the pandemic, and we'd love to do that again. We welcome both of you with your talents, what you have to offer here. If you ever want to share what you do in our space, because it sounds like what you both are doing is fabulous between artistic coaching, creative coaching, and art and bringing people here to do, galleries or doing children family yoga. We would love and welcome you all to come
Mhm.
here and just be part of our little community here. But I also want to talk now just a little bit about your podcast that you two had, because I know that you were just saying, Addie, right before you had Scout, the two of you were doing a podcast together. And I'd like to hear a little bit about it because I heard that it was fabulous.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Azriel, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started and what what your podcast, what your vision was, and what it was about?
Yeah, certainly. So Addie and I are former coworkers, colleagues, if you will, and excuse me, reconnected and had both gone through divorces, separations in our life, in our personal life. And they weren't just like run of the mill, they were very dramatic and unfortunately very emotional, very deep, very challenging separations. And we really connected on that point. And going through the healing process, we kind of were both on the end of that. We were coming out of this downside and we're coming up, and we had met and we're like, this is really exciting, we're really vibing with this idea of healing and this idea of this new life and all these fun things. And wow, Addie, you're learning all this stuff. And she's like, oh, Azriel, you're learning all these stuff. Why don't we talk about this and let other people hear these ideas together? And Addie was really the instigator of this. And through that, I was like, okay, totally nervous, but like, okay, yes, let's go for it. And that was the start of it.
Wow. And so when did this run?
Addie,
It
go ahead.
was yeah, I was going to say it was. We s- we kind of formulated the plan in the summer of 2023 and launched in January of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of planning in the background. We really wanted to put something out like a quality, don't want to call it a product, but almost like a quality product that people were going to take a lot of value from. So we reached out to different healers and scholars in their field just to see if we could kind of line up this great show. And luckily, most, if not all, of the people we reach out to were like, yeah, let's do it. So we kind of formulated, okay, how it's going to look, how long are these going to run for, what specifically are we going to talk about? So that took a lot of planning. And then, yeah, in January of 2024 is when we launched and, kind of went running for it for our first season.
And how long did it go?
We had, I believe, 12 episodes, correct, Azriel, if I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
mistaken. So, and we tried to do one every week, as best as we could. So, it's great having a creative coach to kind of lead us on the path, just to hold us accountable. And it was definitely challenging at times, but it was also one of the most rewarding experiences and projects that I've ever been a part of. And I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for all of the lessons we've learned and the people we talked to. It really was healing in itself. And I'm just excited that we get to share that with other people, and that we recorded and, made a product for people to sort of tap into, if they're feeling similar.
And was the style like you would bring people on who are experts and you would have a typical topic and that you would discuss? And were you both sort of the interviewers, or how was the format?
Yeah, exactly. So there were a lot of interviewees, guests, I should say, and then we also had a couple of shows that was just us discussing in a topic, and it was always one topic, um, the best of our ability at least to stay on topic for each episode. Yes.
Well, can you give an example of like a particular topic?
For example, we had Susan Amoros on. If you're familiar,
I think
Love
I
to talk
know her.
about some healing and Eastern, modalities and things like that. So that was really fun. We had Tom Morris, who's the leading public philosopher who talks on stages with astronauts and vice presidents and his speaking. He's a philosopher with the book on, philosophy for dummies and stoicism for dummies and all other profound books. We had a dating coach on. I forget his name. He was amazing. What was his
Cole
name?
Zeziger. Yep,
Yeah.
Cole Zeziger was on there. Dr. Will Cole, who is a leading nutritionist and a holistic doctor in his field. I mean, he's met with Gwyneth Paltrow and Goop and all that stuff. So we had some really interesting folks on the podcast to just talk about their field, their
Mhm.
Were
expertise.
you doing it in person, or are you doing it on a Zoom type situation like this?
Yeah, it was a Zoom type situation like this. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's so interesting. So it's amazing how much the world has evolved to be able to do this type of program, and it's super popular. People really love podcasts, video podcasts, and it's just the way the world has seemed to transform, and people are fascinated because I think when you're doing a podcast, you're not on anybody else's agenda or platform. So it's not like
Mhm.
a talk show where there's, it's certain talking points and ads. You may or may not have ads. You could run it by ads, but mostly you have a lot of liberty and freedom to be able to discuss what you want. And I think that's the magic of the podcast. Would you agree? That's the beauty of it, that you could really speak about any topic and be
Mm.
independent and free thinking.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it was just, um, just having the experience to talk to some of these people was really interesting. And, we would kind of come up with a list of questions, but oftentimes I feel like that would kind of veer into different paths and it would kind of go into this like natural sort of snowball of conversation. Um, and I thought that was really interesting just because you start to get to like know these people a little bit and it kind of takes its own form, and I'm a huge believer in that what's meant to be will be. And so I think the path that um that these interviews would go down, I think it was really what was supposed to happen, and out of it came this beautiful podcast that I'm still so proud of. So
I love that. So, where can people find this podcast?
Like, on all the regular platforms, so on YouTube, on Spotify, and
drifting
drifting.
on purpose. Go ahead, Azriel. Or
But
drifting
no,
on
it's like
purpose.
drifting on purpose.
Hmm.
That evokes a beautiful imagery. How did you come up with that name?
The idea is that we're all out here. We're all doing our thing, like the jellyfish in the ocean. It's just drifting, but that's its job, to collect the things. Or, a kite in the sky. It's drifting, but it's beautiful and it's doing exactly what it needs to do. There's an easefulness to it,
Hmm.
and
There's an
it's not
intention
stressful.
behind it.
An intention behind that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Mm.
intention part, the purpose part that I was that
Mm.
because those two things that's an oxymoron, drifting and
Right.
purpose. And you would think so. So I kind of like that. Was that intentional?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think, we kind of came at this podcast a little bit, I don't want to say broken, but we had gone through experiences that definitely kind of tore us down. And so it's almost like you have to break yourself to build yourself. And so you almost, the drifting on purpose is like, we're losing ourselves to kind of find a bigger and better version of ourselves. And so I think that's what really stuck, because I know we had a lot of variations of what to call the podcast. And, we went back and forth on it for, I think, weeks. And it just landed. I think it really spoke to the both of us. And I think it is the concept of kind of breaking yourself apart to build yourself up, and doing so by just like kind of drifting and collecting, nuggets of wisdom that speak to you so that you can grow and heal in your own way.
Mm.
That's really lovely. I appreciate that so much, and that so much about like the holistic health world and the journeys that you guys are on, and the way you probably take your clients on too, Azriel, is what you're saying, Addie, about sometimes we do need to let go and shed parts of ourselves so that we can heal and become more whole, and so that really is in alignment with most holistic modalities. Um,
Mm.
and including almost everyone I can think of. So did you find then this is interesting, the actual podcast and the doing of the podcast an actual, in some way, healing modality for you?
Yeah,
100%.
for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. There's some lessons that I still take away, and I'm still thinking about. I'm still friends with Tom Morris, still chat with that person, and I'm still friends with Sensei Victoria Whitfield. Still learning from these individuals even after this experience. And I do think I'm really, as Addie said, really proud of this, really grateful to be able to have done that. um, Doing it scared was really something we got to do. Like, oh gosh, here it goes, hit record. There's that
Mhm.
nervous thing. And just even that process and experimenting with concepts and putting ourselves out there, it was really healing. Be able to grasp a hold of my ego, like my shadow. I'm embarrassed. I'm not worthy. What do I have to say? What do people want to learn from me? But grabbing, saying, no, I am worthy to be heard. I'm worthy of being seen. My heart is pure. I just want to give. I want to give all that I can to these individuals listening to this, and having that platform is really wonderful.
And they're so beautifully said. That's beautiful.
Thank
And also, just I feel like our world now is at a place where people are used to being filmed all the time. I mean, when
you.
I was growing up, we didn't always have cameras in our face and video cameras on all the time, like taking pictures. And I do think that, seeing somebody like on a video or something would be a really big deal. And the people on television, they didn't even seem like they were real people.
Right.
So, but now it's like, anybody can kind of like have their voice be heard, and they're in an authentic way with this sort of modality. And that's why at Green Heiress we have created a podcast studio so people can so first of all, so we could do our podcast. So we have two. We have one with Espa that we do every week, which is just kind of fun and silly, and we just all kind of sit around a round table and joke around. Like, we have a topic, but it's really loose and funny,
Mm.
and we have a great time with them. And then we just actually did that right before this today. And then this original Bliss, which is the one we created at Green Heiress retreats in March. This is just once a month, and the intention of this one is just to bring on different practitioners and people who are doing things in our community that have something to do with holistic health, and now we're opening up to artists, and so you all just seem to like fit right in, and particularly because Addie, you were a yoga teacher who's always been such a participant of Green Heiress, and Azriel, your creative coaching is so different and interesting, and we want to open up to more, artistic, creative people here. But then the third thing is that you guys are interested in podcasting. So if you ever want to be, go deeper and do more podcasting, we'd love to have you here at Green Heiress doing that, and we can collaborate or do it however you want. But I
Amazing.
also just love it. I think it's a fabulous, not just exercise, but also healing modality. I find that as well.
That's awesome. I mean, sign us up because I would love to keep going and just explore and heal and kind of create a collective culture of healers and thinkers and movers and shakers. And, I think the state of the world could probably benefit from more of this. And so, contributing to a positive aspect of, everyday life and just trying to help people is something that I'd love to do.
That's so
Yeah.
fabulous. So you would be interested in doing something like this again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about you, Azriel? Is this something?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel this is so fun for me to be able to chat with you, Erica. You're effortless, Erica. You're just like you're vibing, girl. You're doing it, just free form, and I feel that energy from you. It's exciting, and it's so fun. So to be able to chat with you more, especially like what Addie said about these healing modalities, it's like for the greater good. It's like for the light, if you will. It's how special is that? How unique is that? It's not every day you get to do this. So yeah, super grateful to be a part of it in any way.
That's awesome. I would love to have you both and your beautiful presence here. And thank you so much for that shout out from the artistic coach. So what are you all looking forward to? We're probably gonna kind of end soon because we just kind of do little short snippets on these podcasts. We don't keep it going very long. So we're wrapping up, but just before we leave, what are you all like looking forward to over the holiday season? There's something fun or exciting that you're looking forward, like either in your career or your personal life, or what's exciting for you now?
Addie, do you have it?
Yeah,
Go
sure.
for
So,
it.
my husband, Philippe, Eric, as you know very well, because I know he's been on the podcast too, is Green Heiress's first client ever. Uh, his parents are actually coming from Poland this winter, so they're going to be with us over the holiday season. And so I'm really excited to just be with them in the States and connect with them, and just take them around Pittsburgh and for them to meet Scouts. So really just looking forward to that. And then looking forward to Scouts first, first Thanksgiving, first
Wow.
Christmas. You forget how fast time goes, and just seeing, her experience some of these things, like she won't remember, but it's just seeing for the first time how they experience something is just such a magical time. So I'm really looking forward to that.
What a beautiful time for you and Philippe and your family. And I'm sure your other daughter is just thrilled to have a little sister as well.
Oh, she loves her. She calls her person. And I was like, where did you hear that? Because I love that so much. But she calls her person, and she just cannot get enough of her. It's been awesome.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you, Addie. I really look forward to seeing your beautiful presence here more and your lovely family. And just hope you have a wonderful, fall season and going into winter, and that all good things happen to you. And
Thanks so much.
and Azriel, what about you?
So this holiday season, man, what am I looking forward to? I guess what I'm hoping for is peace. I have children as well with a former spouse, and so there's challenges in my life that are always happening because of the situation. I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. So I'm just looking for opportunities to have peace and gratitude, just to be with them and enjoy their time. For me personally, I'm going through a transitional season myself, and I'm really diving back and really, so I love this. This is really poignant and timely for me to talk to you about this, is that really reconnecting with my purpose. I've been really lost and really just kind of down with the state of the world, and I've been digesting a lot of media, unfortunately, and it's so oppressive. And I've been kind of like pushing down my light and realizing, no, I'm here to give hope. I'm here to offer just a little glimpse of, I don't have much, but that's what I can do. I can offer a little bit of encouragement, and that's okay. It can be a small voice. So I'm reconnecting, and so that's my hope for this next season, is to get back into that and to see that and to own that.
What a beautiful intention. That's
Thank you.
fabulous. Where could people find you, Azriel, as a coach? Do you have a website or name of your company?
Yeah, so my website is azrielweaver.com, very easily. Instagram is a great way to follow me, Azriel Weaver again. So very straightforward. Please look me up. I would love to chat.
That is wonderful. I would love to talk more to you.
Please.
It's exciting what you're doing and so unique. And anyway, thank you both so much for taking time out of your really busy schedules. It sounds like you both are really busy. So I really appreciate you coming on. I hope it sparks some excitement for you both to maybe want to get back on doing something that you're obviously really good at and that you love and that can help a lot of people. So I welcome you, and I'm grateful for this connection, and I hope that we can see each other again soon and enjoy the holiday season.
Thanks so much, Erica. We
You too.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.